if you grew up in a farm family like me, it's hard work is the thing that brings us money. That shift to I can do well with ease. One of the things we say at GoBundance Women a lot is we want to scale without sacrifice. It sounds so pie in the sky, but again, until you get there, if you're holding so strongly onto a branch of hard work, you're never going to know if you can fly until you're ready to let go, until you're willing to take the chance to let go.
Hello, amazing humans, and welcome to episode number 296 of the Game On Girlfriend podcast. You've heard about real estate investment, right? I mean, it's kind of hard not to, given this moment in history and who's running the country at the moment. But anyway, let's talk about real estate investment for the average Jane, yeah? You are going to love this episode. Listen, I have a job here to make sure women have a lot of wealth, right? That's really my job on planet Earth. And in order to do that, we need foundational income. We need different ways that we bring a certain amount of income into our lives, into our world, as much as we can, right? We need that to be as consistent, as often, and to grow that and do that wisely. And this podcast episode's guest, her name is Mandy McAllister. First of all, I think we're related. Like, we are the same person in different bodies, which was really cool. It was so much fun to talk to her. But if you've ever been like, no, really, you can't get started with investing in real estate. That's ridiculous. That's for billionaires. That's for people who have a lot of money. What if I were to tell you that is not actually accurate? And you could start creating revenue from residential investments pretty quickly. Mandy McAllister is a multifamily real estate investor, mindset ninja, and a connector. She spent the bulk of her career in medical device sales, chasing cases, and commission checks. And in 2021, Mandy left her W-2 to lean into her financial independence that she built through real estate investing. And she now serves as the CEO of GoBundance Women, a tribe of healthy, wealthy, generous women who choose to lead epic lives. Her real estate expertise includes repositioning underperforming assets to increase cash flow and value. Her portfolio is currently comprised of 373 doors of B-class workforce housing, furnished student housing, and motel reposition. She is most proud to be mama of her hilarious 8-year-old son, Duncan, who coincidentally wants to be a real estate investor when he grows up. You guys are going to fall in love with Mandy, and I really want you to listen to what she's teaching her children. She talked about her daughter as well and what they did together that bonded them, that helped grow their family's wealth at the same time, and taught her kids incredibly valuable skills. This is not the episode of how to make $1 bazillion in real estate. That's not what's happening here. I want you to understand, as people who are moving on this planet right now, there is an avenue to a lot of wealth inside of understanding what real estate offers and how you, all of us average Janes, can participate in providing incredible housing for others while growing wealth for ourselves and our families so we can spend more time with the people we love. Pop in those earphones and let's get to it. Mandy, welcome to the Game On Girlfriend podcast. I'm so happy you're here today. Welcome.
Oh, Sarah, I could not be more excited. Your energy. This is going to be so fun. I can't wait.
I know. We should just like figure out how to give energy to everybody all the time. Yeah, let's do that. Project number 325.
Right. It's the thing I'm best at in life is enthusiasm. So
we should get a bumper. I always have a bumper sticker moment in every podcast episode. I think professional enthusiast is now.
Oh,
let's do it. Should we own it? Let's own it.
I'm in.
I love it.
Hashtag.
Well, you are a sister after my own heart because you help women really make money so they can be with their families. Hello, what else is there, really? That's what we're all here to do. But you have a really unique and I think cool take on how someone can do that. But I do have to ask you, because you're clearly smart. I know you do lots of stuff. So out of all the things you could have done, why is this the path you chose? And why is this what you help people do?
I first learned of this idea of real estate investing when I was in college, and a friend was explaining that her dad bought the house and that she got to rent the rooms out to our friends. And I thought, oh my God, and you get to keep that money? That's the best idea I've ever heard. Right. So that was 19 years old. I didn't really do anything with it until I was 35. But it is of all that I found in the business degrees coming from an entrepreneurial family, the way to optimize for brain space, the way to make good money and set your life up in a way that if your goal is like mine, to be the mom who isn't on call, who's the mom who gets to go on field trips with her kids, like that is why I do what I do.
Not everybody knows this. I have to tell you this, Mandy. The official name of my business, like the LLC, is Better Way Moms. And I launched this when I was 532 months pregnant with my daughter, whose 16th birthday it is as we're recording this. Yes, but I remember just wanting there to be a better way. Like it was just like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I really appreciate you giving such a concrete process. Like here's an idea, right? Because one of the things I know I deal with as a coach, I'd love to know what you think of this, but often I get so many people who are like, no, 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 but you don't understand. I don't have a talent or I don't have something unique. I just want to be with my kids. And
Mm.
one, I don't really believe that. I think everybody has a talent, right? I'm like, you do. You just maybe haven't found it yet, or you haven't learned how to monetize it yet. But what I love about what you do is it's just that opening for somebody to start thinking about money and making money and being with family in a little bit of a different way. Is that how people tend to find you? Or are they just like at their wits' end?
So I feel like in the world of real estate investing, like that's kind of if people have found me, it's usually through that. They've usually
Mm.
done a couple single family investments and they realize that that's really slow when you're doing one unit at a time. And my kind of whole shtick, the thing that I figured out is if you're buying it 4 units at a time up to about 50 units at a time, there's a lot of benefits and there's a lot, it feels scary because it's so big. And oh my God, I'm buying a $4 million thing. Sounds like nothing that a farm kid should ever have come out of her mouth. But when you realize the incentives that the government has really put on it in terms of lending, in terms of a lot of other things,
Hmm.
going bigger, it's so counterintuitive, Sarah, but going bigger is really way easier for 1,000 different reasons.
Well, because I have to admit, when you said that up to 40, I was like, oh my gosh, that feels like so much to manage, not even just to invest in, but to manage. So let's talk about, there's lots of reasons to do this. What besides the governmental support, which is so great, I'm happy to hear that. But like what else happens that has that be a better option for people who are looking to invest through real estate?
So when you're an owner or an operator or both, right? When you're buying one unit, you are the owner and the operator, and a toilet breaks and you're the one that gets the midnight
Call.
call,
Right.
right? When you can be the owner and not the operator, then that's when the whole world opens up to get to be the mom on field trips, right? So if you
Right.
buy something with enough scale, either with partners or some strategies to be able to be the sole owner of some bigger stuff, then you can have property management that's really, really good. It's very different at a 1 to 4 unit property manager. You have to learn how to do business inside that company. But once you get up to about 50 units, you have one person to call. And you get to be
Wow.
the owner who says, I want to optimize for these things. And what I kind of preach is you got to have a dashboard. You got to have something that comes to your inbox every single day that's the 3 to 5 things that matter most. Because
Right.
if you're not measuring it, in my opinion, you can't manage it. And your job as the owner is to measure the right things or have your team ultimately measure the right things so that you can manage it like a business and then have an opportunity to be the owner and not the operator.
I love it. You know what I'm hearing in my all things business brain that I love so much? One, every single person who runs a business should be receiving that email or creating it themselves if they just started yesterday. Totally get that. Right. But that idea that every single day there are 3 to 5 things we're focused on. I cannot tell you what a game changer that is for any business, but I love it around what you share and what you teach because there's a mindset shift there, isn't there? Between like, I have to hustle, I have to do everything, I have to be everywhere all the time, to what are we doing? What's
Mm,
happening? And that
A hundred
shift is
percent.
just huge, right?
Well, it is because especially if you grew up in a farm family like me, it's hard work is the thing that brings us money.
Yes.
That shift to I can do well with ease. One of the things we say at Go Abundance Women a lot is we want to scale without sacrifice. It sounds so pie in the sky, but again, until you get there, if you're holding so strongly onto a branch of hard work, you're never going to know if you can fly until you're ready to let go, until you're willing to take the chance to let go, and that leaning into, the feminine energy of receiving rather than that masculine energy of attacking and doing, it's a really ongoing conversation in our group.
I literally have head to toe chills right now. I knew you were a sister from another mother. I knew it. Yeah, that idea that it doesn't have to be the way we were taught or even what was
Oh,
role for us, right? That's got to be, I'm being very presumptuous right now, but that's got to be one of the biggest mindset issues you really help people tackle. Yeah.
well, I mean, it's the one that I tackled myself. Like I grew up doing all the right things. And I think, if you've seen this TED talk that girls are taught to be perfect, boys are taught to be brave, and the subsequent book that she had,
Mm.
like this idea, if you are a high performing girl, you raised your hand and you got straight A's and you did everything the right way. And like, if you're like me, you just keep running after degrees because then maybe I'll be loved and maybe I'll be enough if I just keep getting, the A's and getting the degrees and all of those things. And it's this revelation that, oh my God, I get a choice in this. Like I
Mm.
get to inform the things that I do, and I can kind of reverse engineer the things that are happening in the world to create my own existence, to be the mom who shows up the way that I want to, that is still scaling to a 10, $20 million business.
Ah, I'm so happy right now. Let's just like, I just want to like, if I wish everybody could just sit with us right now and like pull up a salad and we just all just keep talking. So good. So good. So
If that's
let's
not a
go back.
middle-aged lady thing to do, pull up a salad. I
Hey,
love it.
if we have
I'm
money, we
with
can
you.
lunch, right? I mean, come on. That's the whole idea. But then what we're doing is actually, I love that idea. Like it, I think it's, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it's wealthy people talk about ideas, poor people talk
Hmm.
about people. I just that has
Yes.
always stuck with me. And there's probably a nicer way to say that, but that was kind of the breakdown of like, let's do sit down and have a conversation, right? About what's possible and what we can do and why we feel stuck in this area, but not that area. Versus, did you hear what Jamie said yesterday? Like it just creates a different life, right? It's just a real way
Yes.
to go through life. So I had to caveat that because ladies who lunch are up to something most of the time. All right, so let's talk about really what this journey was like for you. I would love to know. This is like the truth bomb part, right? What was a moment where you doubted or got nervous, and how did you get through it?
Oh, so in right before COVID, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, I was a medical device rep for the bulk of my career, right? And the way that those commission structures work is if you do really well, the next year your number resets and you have to sell double just to make the same money, right? And at that same time, I had been number 5 out of 500. So I crushed it. My number was now something I couldn't hit. Like it just reset in such a way that was like the deals weren't there to do,
Yep.
and I was getting divorced. So I'm a single mom of this little boy, and my boss is telling me, you got to go find more patients. And I don't know if you know anything about HIPAA laws, but that ain't okay.
Right.
Right. And I had this revelation in a hospital parking lot that, oh my God, if I don't go do this thing, like I'm going to be homeless and penniless and under a bridge, and my kid and I are going to eat beans and it's going to be terrible. Right. But then I realized, oh my gosh, I mean, I have 2,000-ish dollars at the time coming in from my rental real estate every month. It's this like floor of income that I
Mm.
can depend on. Oh my God, Sarah, I'm not going to be homeless and penniless under a bridge. I get a chance to, if I lean into that floor of income, then I can grow that in such a way that I can live the life of my dreams. And I don't have to chase cases and I don't have to live in a way and do work that makes me question my moral compass,
Oh,
So that is the moment, that panic attack in that parking lot is the kind of rock bottom moment where I chose to dive into multifamily headfirst.
if you're not watching this on YouTube and you're listening, I just stared at her with my mouth open. I have head to toe chills. That's the moment.
I
I swear to God, that is the moment that makes or breaks we women who are really out to do something different with our lives, to not do the cookie cutter way, whether it's being raised on a farm. I was raised Mormon, right? I mean, pick a thing like that we choose to like bust out of the cookie cutter and do it our own way. I love that. So let's say someone's listening and they're like, okay, yeah, sure, Mandy, that sounds great.
Must be nice.
Like, come on. How do you get a $2,000 kit, right? Like someone's in that space. Really, what did you do to start? How does someone like ground zero, they're listening and they're like, hang on, I really would like to leave my job, or I really do want more freedom, or I want to travel more. I want to be able to be out there. What can somebody do first?
This is not an overnight thing. I am not a get rich quick, flash in the pan, but wait, there's more type of like an approach, right? Like this
Yeah.
is a, look at the world, look at that you can live every day of your life and never own a Bitcoin, but every human in the world always needs shelter. So
Mm,
I am investing my money in the thing that is the single most proven asset class in the entire world that's
wow.
completely incentivized, right? So the first step that I would say, and when I wrote a real big check in that divorce, so I started from, ground zero not that long ago. I was in those shoes. So the way that I looked at it and the way that I tell people to look at it now is you got to think about where you live. If you're not living in a house, if you're not, owning a house that you live in, using that as your first vehicle is
Mm.
the ideal first step. So two ways that I love to do that. One, it's called house hacking. This idea of if you buy a fourplex and you live in one of the units and you rent out the rest, then you get to keep all that money and basically live for free and potentially make money on top of living for free, right? It all just kind of comes down to the math. If that, I tried to do that after my divorce, but couldn't find a school district with fourplexes that worked. So what I did, I call it a live in flip. So you've heard of flipping houses, right? So you improve the value of a house that you live in over time, and then you sell it for more, right? So if you buy the thing with the right things wrong, like the paint and the flooring, right, and you learn how to look at those things and you make those changes. I actually personally bought a house after my divorce for 250,000, fixed it up, and sold it for 500,000 a couple of years later. And the tax, if you follow the tax rules, you get to keep that $250,000 tax free, right? That is an incredible nut of cash to move
Yes.
into an investment that will help you towards your freedom. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you're being intentional about your plans and starting with the house you live in and having the willingness to move, that's something that not everybody would do.
Yes, I was just gonna say that's a big piece for a lot of people. Like I love my house right now, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know if there is that piece of it. But I love the idea of starting with a fourplex or something like that so that people can really just get started.
That's
That's
the first
brilliant.
thing I ever bought. When I was 35, I finally bought something for express purpose in investing, and it ended up being a fourplex near a college. I realized that it wasn't furnished, but if I furnished it, I could get almost double the rent. So figuring out how to get highest and best use of something is another thing that I kind of bang tables over.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, I'm like, my brain is going nuts. Because I love me a good home project. I don't know if you know this, Mandy. I painted my own kitchen cabinets last year because I'm crazy. It was so fun though. I loved every minute of it. And I did it because the marble I wanted on the kitchen counters was so expensive. And I refused to blow my budget. So I was like,
Hey, girl,
yeah, no, we don't
mama
do
gonna
budgets
paint.
around here, right? Yeah, let's
I'll
go.
say too, I have, one of the second thing I ever bought was a sixplex just north of where I live, about 2 hours north of where I live. And I've converted some of those into furnished rentals for like traveling nurses and traveling
Oh, cool.
professionals,
Yeah.
right? And one of those units came vacant, and my daughter, my 14, now 15-year-old daughter, came with me, and homegirl was using screwdrivers and drills.
Yes.
And something I didn't bargain for, Sarah, that I want to kind of put out there is, I played college volleyball. My best friends in the world are the ones that I ran until I threw up with. The really hard work being in the trenches, like
Yes.
that's what creates bonding. That
Mhm.
36 hours of constant work with my daughter was bonding in a way that I never anticipated. And the conversations we got into, homegirl, like that
Right.
wouldn't have happened over breakfast.
No.
So teaching my kids hard work through this entrepreneurship, use your hands stuff while creating wealth for us, that's a double win.
I mean, how does it get better? That's the third time in this conversation, Mandy, you've given me chills. Third time. Because one of the things I'll say, I do this a lot with clients as well. If it's like they're working, either maybe they're having a tough relationship with their kids in the moment, or a lot of the times inside of business coaching comes up. primary relationships, right? But then also team building. And I'll say, paint a room together. You won't believe what happens when you paint a room together. So I love that you were doing that with your kids. Oh my God. Seriously, were we separated at birth? I'm confused. Anyway,
We're the
yeah, I
secret
love that.
handshake we've got now, you know?
Nudge, nudge. I love it. I love it. So, all right. So that's how we get started. And then what do you love the most about doing it right now? Like at this stage in your life, is it the freedom? Is it what you're teaching your kids? Is it how you feel about yourself? What feels really good to you right now at this stage because you don't believe in, the get rich quick schemes, which none of us should. They're scare the heck out of me. But in looking at this, really, where are you now? What makes you so happy about this now?
I really feel like creating that floor of income is the ultimate freedom, and I think I say a lot. That the easiest way to solve a problem is to put more truth to the problem, right? And the first step that I take with everybody I work with is we create this North Star of how much money do you need to cover your primary expenses, like just, you're not going to be homeless and penniless and under a bridge, right?
Right.
And then two, like what do you need to cover now? And then three, open up your brain. If you want a home on the Amalfi Coast, put a number on it. You don't need to be a billionaire to do that. Just put a number on it and then you can move towards it. And every time somebody has done this exercise, they're like, oh my God, this was so much less than I thought, right? The freedom to sit on my hands if I want to sit on my hands, to spend a week in Mexico if I want to spend a week in Mexico, to go to Dave and Buster's after this call with my kid. Like the chance to lean into the stuff that feels awesome
Yeah.
is the stuff that makes this really fulfilling. And the chance to inspire somebody that I ain't nothing special. I'm some farm kid who just kept trying. And if I can do it, I know it's completely possible for absolutely anyone. But you really need to get yourself educated in the direction of the right path so that you're making reasonable enough decisions.
Love it. I love it. Oh my God. Okay. So let's say someone's like, I need me some more Mandy in my life right now. Where can people find you and where can people hang out with you?
Sure. Best, easiest way to get a hold of me is mandymcallister.com. That'll give you a link to our podcast, Power Up Your Life. We just hit top 100 business podcasts.
Yeah, you did.
And Go Abundance Women, this community that I have an opportunity. I joined as a member and now I get to serve as a leader of healthy, wealthy, generous women who choose to lead epic lives. And also, stuff on the course and the cohorts that I coach for multifamily.
I love it. I love it. You guys, we're going to have a link to Mandy's signature course below, and there's also a coupon code for our girlfriends. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're watching on YouTube, it will be underneath the video. Those of you listening in, it's in your show notes. Don't mess around. Go get it. Go get it. Go learn how to do what Mandy did so you can love your life again. Good grief, Charlie Brown. Mandy, thank you so much for spending this time with us. I just absolutely appreciate your energy. I love what you're doing for other people, cracking open cash flow, figuring out how to make things possible when they don't feel possible. It's just so inspiring and so exciting. And I'm so grateful that we could spend this time together.
Right back at you, homegirl. Thank you, girlfriend.